Recording, and let me sharing. So oh, sorry. Okay. So we know. I just wanted to discuss this. Mm. So we know these, right? Like what are these called as? These are called as. I mean, this is an object, right? This is an object, and these are called as key. These are called as values, but these are also called as properties, right? We did discuss about this. Like object is a collection of properties, and JavaScript objects, JavaScript objects contains properties, which are these are the properties. And how can we access the properties of an object? By using a dot notation or a square bracket. Okay, so we can access using dot notation or a square bracket. We can access the properties and their values in an object. So we did discuss about this, right, in the last
Yes, yes,
class.
Ashish.
Yeah.
Yes, yes, we did.
And yeah, one question. How many did work out on the examples that I have provided in a notepad? How many did work on those? Mm. Okay, okay, no worries. I got the answer. Okay, so now today we will be discussing about three, I can say three functions. I mean, these are very important, very important functions, and these functions are related to arrays. Okay, these functions are closely related to arrays. Okay, and what are those functions? Okay, now let's see. Okay, we have a reduce function, filter function, and map function, and all these functions work on an array. Okay, these all functions work on an array. I mean, if we create an array, we can use all these three functions on that particular array. Okay, so first we will see. uh, okay, now let me go ahead and take this and paste it here. Okay, ignore this part, ignore this. This is a number array, right? This is a number array. 1 2 3, this is a number array. Now I want to, I want to go ahead and calculate this. I mean, I want to print a double of this. I mean, I want to multiply this and then print the output of an array. Okay, how can I do that? Using a normal function. This is a named function. Why? Because we have a name for the function, right? We have a name for the function. Now what I'm doing here is I'm just taking this nums, which is a variable name, as a parameter inside a function. Then I'm multiplying it by 2. Okay, I'm multiplying it by 2. Now what I need to do, I need to go ahead and call this function. Let me call this function. Okay, so this should work. Okay, yeah, to console it, right? And then now we will do this mapping thing later. Okay, first I have to run this, and then I need to console this. Okay, dot log, and Okay, and I'm printing the array. Okay, let me run this. Why does it return not a number? Okay, I think I need to provide the. No, not required. This is not required. Okay, nums. Yeah, let's try nums here. Let's see. No, still it is throwing not a number. Hmm, calling a function. Okay, when I return this, I'm returning the function. Oh, sorry, I think I should not. But here I need to. Uh, okay, yeah. So what I'm gonna do here is let me try doing something. Let me see nums dot two, right? Um, return nums dot two. If I
Uh,
call this,
Ashish console.log should not be inside the curly brackets.
no, we can also call it outside. We can also call it outside. We can use it outside too.
Okay.
But this should not. Okay, let me do one thing. Let me add it here. But yeah, let me do one thing. Add it here. And here, why it is printing the nums? If I say nums here, no, we should not provide nums here. Because actually, this should call. No, this will not work because
Double inside nouns I think different.
if I do this here, nums into 2 and then console this. Let me do one thing. So now let me log this. Let me see if this works. No, it's still not working. Okay,
I
I'll
think only nouns, double inside the bracket. I think only nouns, numbers.
only nums you're saying.
Yes, yes.
That too didn't work actually, to be honest. Double nums. No, didn't work. It didn't work. This is nums. Mm, return. We have function and we have the parameter and we have the return. It is returning as well. Okay. I I think I just need to print this part, not the function part. Okay. Now yes. Yes. Now if I okay, no, it is printing. But I want to call the function. But when calling the function, this is the only way where we can call the function. Double, yeah, this is the only way we call the function. Double, is the spelling correct? Yeah, double. Then pass in the, okay, let me do one thing. Let me pass in this array here. I don't think so this should work. No, this will also not work. Mm, Parameter, um, okay, no worries. I'll check
I
with
think
this.
return nouns into two. Then niche inside bracket, curly bracket, console
Here,
number line number 7. उसके
mm-hmm.
बाद enter.
Uh-huh.
उसके बाद console.
Nah, when you use return keyword in a function, then after return keyword, whatever code we write, it will not be considered. It will be ignored.
Yes,
So,
yes, yes, yes.
so that is not the case here actually. Nums. we should. Okay, leave. I'll check why exactly this is not working later. Okay, so let's say if we want to return something in this way, I mean, if we want to print an array which multiplies all the numbers in here, so we need to write a function in this way. I mean, just ignore this and ignore this as well. Okay, this is how you do it. But we have a better way. We have a better way where we can, multiply all the numbers in an array and print out the output. And that is one of the method is called as map method. Okay, let me copy this. Mm, mm, mm. Okay. Now what I'm doing here is I'm using this array, okay, and mapping it, okay, mapping it using a map function. I'm going ahead and doubling it. I mean, I'm using this double, okay. So for that, what I'm going to do here is I'm going to use this function, okay. So, okay. I got it. Okay. I got it. Okay. Now, what we used here, we used double as a function name. Okay. And then we have passed in the parameter as this array. This array has been passed in here. And what we want this to be, what we want this function to do, we want this function to multiply the array with 2. Okay, that is what we want. Now what I did here is I went ahead and created another variable which named as doubles, and then used this array and mapped, I mean, I used a map function with with this function. I mean, this map method, I mean, we can call method or a function, use and in the parameter I have provided this function. I mean, for the function in the parameter I have provided another function as a parameter. Now once this was done, then I can print this. Okay, now when I print it, you can see this is an output. So I mean, map function, what it does is it will it will map a function with an array. If there is any array, if there is any number array, and that number array needs to go ahead and perform any calculations on that number array all at once, then we can, I mean, we can go ahead and use this map function. Like, we can write a function here, and then that we need to write the logic in here, like what exactly the function needs to do. Once that is written, then we need to map, I mean, we need to use dot map, okay, and along with an array, so that it will go ahead and perform the action for us. Like if I want to say, um I just want to add plus 1 here. Okay, I just want to add plus 1 to all the numbers in an array. Okay, now when I run it, let's see, it went ahead and added. So this is a more convenient way where we can work on an arrays. Okay, so this is where we map function to an array. This is how you do it. I mean, you use map function, and in the parameter you provide the function name, then you perform the action, you perform the logic, including the array variable name. Okay, first you take the array variable name, then dot. When you press dot, then you have multiple options. There you can select the map function. In the map function, enter the function name as a parameter. Then you can go ahead and the print the new variable which you have stored this complete action. So here what we are doing is we are creating a number array, and we are we are getting an output with a different values in that particular array. That is the reason we use this. I mean, we store it in a different variable. This is one array, and this is another array. So when I try to print this, console.log, then say nums. Okay, run this. See, this array is still is alive and still it doesn't change. Nums array still doesn't change. This is one array, and here the doubles which we have printed. This is a completely new array. This is a completely new array. Okay, that is the reason we have stored it in a different variable, different variable name. Okay, so if you want to perform any action, any action on a number array all at once, then you can use this dot map function. And how does it do? How, when you're passing the when you're passing the array as a parameter, okay, and when you're using dot map function, what it does is, here you're using the logic, like I want to add one all the numbers in an array. So it maps plus one here, then plus one here, then plus one. So that is what the map function does. Okay. So if you want to work on all the numbers in an array, then you can use this map function. Okay. We will get to know more about this. And sorry, yeah,
Ashish,
yeah.
yeah, please. What does this dot map function? What does it do exactly when we use it?
Yeah, dot map function. Okay, let if you want to work on array, if you want to work an array all at once, all the elements in an array you want to work all at once, that is where the dot map function comes into picture. Like, you don't want to get one element then add it, then another element then add it all at once. You want to add all the elements in an array at once. So
Mhm.
it maps like this logic, this nums plus one logic maps which with each element, and it gives us the output. When you print the new variable, it gives us the output. Okay, like,
Okay. So,
so
and you
here.
kept,
Hmm,
sorry, and here you for elect doubles and you kept space and then name numbers like nums dots. I don't know why you did it like this. To be
um
honest, I didn't understand this much. You know what you were talking about, this mapping and also at the same time double. Did you? I don't know. I didn't get it. Sorry.
no, no problem, no problem. See, uh this is a new variable. This is a new variable. Variable name let doubles is a new variable name. Okay. This nums, what is nums? Nums is the array
The
variable
name.
name. Okay.
Mm.
Now when I put dot and I want to use the map function. Okay, when you say console, okay, when you say console dot log, okay, dot log is a function, right?
Yes,
Log
yes.
is a function. Same way, if I want to use the map function on an array, that is where I use dot notation. Then call this map function. Then in the parameters on which function I want, I mean, which function I have written the code or logic for the array. So this one. Okay, I can name this anything else. I can say this as Monday. Okay. Now
Mm.
I'll be calling Monday here. Now once we have this, now we have to print the new array that is generated, that we need to print it, right? For that we use console.log doubles. Okay, now when you run this, see, you got an output. So nothing, I mean, what map function does is, uh, if you have written any logic, if you want your array to do something all elements at once, then that is where you use dot map function, so that it will map with each element and it will print the output all at once. Like, if you want to access element of 4, how would you do it? You'll say nums, then you say 3, the index of
Three.
3,
Yeah,
right?
the
But
index. Mm.
here what we are doing here, I mean, then once you have once then you do one thing, you'll store it in some variable. Then you go ahead and say x plus 1. Okay, this you will go ahead and print. right? This you will go ahead and print x plus 1, uh, and then here, let me comment this out. Comment this completely out. Now what we are doing here, what is the okay, this is 0 index, 1 2 3 4. So nums of 3 is 4, right? Now
Mm-hmm.
what we are doing, we are storing it in a variable. We are storing it in a variable, and then we are doing some operation, like we want to add something. Now let me run this. We got 5, right?
Mm-hmm.
Now
Yes,
if
yes.
you want to do it for each element, then you have to store each element into one variable, then you have to write this
Mm-hmm.
code for multiple times, right? So
Yeah.
in reducing, to reduce this effort, to reduce this effort, we use this map
Use the
function.
function.
We use
Yeah, a
map
function.
function.
Yeah. The concept of function is to not repeat the code, so you have to write it
Correct,
once.
correct. Functions are used for dry principle, which is do
Mm-hmm.
not repeat yourself. Do not repeat
Yes.
yourself. So that is where this map function comes into picture. I mean, you can map each element with this logic,
Mm-hmm.
nums logic, num plus one, or you can say num into anything. You can write any arithmetic operation here, which can be done on the sorry, the numbers, which can be done on the numbers. You can give that operation here, and then let me comment this. What I'm doing here is I'm checking the square root. I'm getting the square root. Okay, let's see if I can see. I got the square root for all at once, right?
Oh,
So it is
double stars. Double stars means square roots.
yes, double star means
Uh-huh.
square root. Yes, double star means square
Mhm.
root. Okay, uh, actually this is square root. Yeah, square root, right? Yeah, square root.
No,
True. But here we are, it's cube root
no.
actually. It is not
Cube,
square root.
cube.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it's a
yeah. It's
cube root.
times three. Mm.
Yeah, times 3. So it's cube root. Okay. And
Mm.
when you say 5 times, then
Oh,
it will be like what they say,
square.
five roots. Okay, this is how it is. Okay. So what we are doing, we are reducing our effort, we are reducing our energy by writing a
Mm.
function, then calling the map function to map each element with our logic, and then printing out the new array. This is a completely new array. This is not this array. So if we want to print a new array, then we have to store it in some variable. So once we stored in that variable, then we printing that variable, which gives us a new array output. Okay.
Okay. Actually, I was confused because at the beginning you were looking for the double, and
Uh-huh.
then you went for mapping, and I believe that is like because the result was
Yes. Sorry.
the output was no problem. So the output was not like double. I said that's why I was confused. I
Okay.
said when you say let's doubles, it
Uh-huh.
means you are looking for the double of each value in the array.
R- Okay.
Yeah. So
Now,
that's the. Mm.
yeah, now you understood the concept.
Yes, yes. Now I understood.
Okay,
Yeah,
great.
yeah.
Everyone ready?
Repeat again as is line number 10.
This one, this one you want me to
Yes,
repeat?
yes,
Okay,
yes,
sure,
yes.
sure. Okay, let me do one thing. Let me comment this. Okay. Oh, not complete part.
Mm.
Let me
I
comment.
think
Oh,
there. I think there double you must replace it with Monday. Less Mondays, I think.
no, 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 no.
No.
Okay. No, no, no. Okay. See, till here, what we did, we created an array, a number array, and
Yes,
we named that number array as nums, right? Then
yes,
what we wanted every number, every element, not number, every element in an array. Okay. Um.
yes,
Okay. Let me do 3 here. Okay. Have, when we output it, when we do an output, our requirement is every element in an array should have a cube root. Should be done cube root, and it should print. Okay. So till here
yes.
we have done that. We have created a function and we have written the logic as well. Now when we are printing, when we okay let's when we are printing the output, it doesn't print the same values, it will print a new values, right? when we are printing the output using this function logic, will it print 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8 9?
No, into
No,
queue.
right? Yes. So that new data is a completely new array. It is a completely new array. So that complete new array should be stored in a different variable. In order to print
Yes.
the new array, it should be stored in a different variable. Now, what I did here is, on what array I need to perform this function? Nums, right? The parent array is nums, so I added it. Then I placed dot in order to get the function, in order to retrieve the function. I mean, um, in IDs, especially in VS Code or Eclipse, when you hit dot, that is where you will get the list of functions which you can use. So that is where I got this map function. And what this map function, I mean, what it takes one parameter. What parameter it takes? It takes a function name, I mean, where exactly the logic is written. That logic, it will be I mean, that logic function name, it will take in a parameter. Okay. Now what will it do is,
Yes.
it will check, okay, what is the logic in the Monday function. I have to take each element of numbers array, and I have to do cube root of it. Okay, it understood this part. Okay, no, no, only this. Okay, it understood. And where exactly is the nums array? It is over top here. Okay, so what will it do? What does the mapping does? What does the mapping does is, let me use this pen. Okay.
Uh, I think there is some noise. I think
Uh,
someone must mute.
yeah. Yes, please. Thank you. Okay, what does mapping does is, in this way, it will map. Okay, it will map. Okay, this mapping, this is map. It will map. Okay, here what it does is, it will take the function logic, which is nums to the square root, and it will map with each element in an array. Each element in an array, it will perform that logic. It will perform that logic, and then it will provide an output. Okay, so that is what we have used here. We have used the parent array dot map. I mean, please map this logic, this Monday function logic, on each element, then place it in a new variable. Once it placed, we are going ahead and printing it. Understood?
Yes, yes, Ashish.
Okay.
Yes.
Uh,
Great. Okay. So this is all map function does. I mean, in VS Code. Okay, let me show it in VS Code. I mean, yeah, when you use VS Code, you will get to know how I
yeah,
mean,
there is a
how,
list. There is a
uh,
list of functions, yeah, like concat, like it's a list. But do we use all of them?
not all, not all. Some, yes, to some extent, yes, we do.
But
Uh, yeah, it's a tough question to answer. But yes, whenever we use something, then yes, we do it. Yes,
okay.
George, yes. Okay, here what I'm doing. Let me copy the same part here. Okay. Now what I'm doing, let doubles equal to nums. Okay, till here. When I hit dot, see, it gives the list. It gives us the list. What all functions we can use. What all functions we can use. Here we have the map function. When we hit the map function, here we need to provide the parenthesis, and in parenthesis we need to provide the function name. Okay. So IDs help you in that way. I mean, IDs help you in that way. That is the reason I say, when you're practicing, use IDs. You'll be more familiar, and you'll be getting to know the IDs much better. It will be easy for you to work. So, and in here, you'll also find one interesting thing. When you hit dot, you will see these, this, what this icon is called as pentagram, parallelogram, no, rhombus, I don't know. Okay, this is these are methods, and this in a rectangle shape, these are properties. Okay, using the icon you'll get to know, like, is this a method or this is a property. Okay, so IDs will help you in that way too. Okay, that is why we use IDs rather than notepad or online compilers. We don't use in projects, rather than notepads or any text editors. We go with IDs because it is easy to write code and debug, and also check if we have a syntax error. I mean, there are a lot of advantages when, and you can import libraries, much more things you can do in IDs. Okay. Yes. So that
Okay.
is what. But you need not worry about IDs when you are working with Postman, because Postman itself has, when I say, let me open Postman. Mm, let me Postman itself has an inbuilt. Okay, let me do one thing. Let me do this add user and scripts. Okay, I'm in scripts. Let me go to the script. Okay, when I type CONC here itself, so Postman itself has an inbuilt ID, so you need not to worry about it. Um, and I can say console dot c. It gives you all the information. So yeah, so Postman itself inbuilt, you have an ID. So you can also once we come to Postman automation, then you can see how how effective or how helpful this Postman tool is when you're writing your code. But still this is only for API automation. This is only for API automation. But when it comes to web automation, then definitely you need to get familiar with these IDs, either Visual Studio Code, IntelliJ, or Eclipse, or Visual Studio, anything that matters. Okay, web automation, web automation, and also I think, yeah, for rest assured API automation also you need to get familiar with Eclipse. You can't do that rest. I mean, you can't do rest assured on Postman. You need Eclipse for that. Okay, IDs helps you. So yeah, please make sure that you get familiar with IDs.
Ashish, are you going to do with us also these rest issues or not?
No, not rest assured. Not rest assured. I mean,
Okay.
rest assured. To be honest, I never worked on rest assured.
Okay. Okay. No
Yeah,
problem.
I never worked on. I mean, I did work on SOAP UI and Postman, but not on rest assured. I know it is more related to. It is completely related to Java. You write
Mhm.
using the Java code, but I never worked on it.
Okay.
Maybe if once I learn, then I can teach. But till I never
Yeah.
got an option to work on rest assured.
Okay. Okay. Thank you.
Welcome. So, is this understood? Is this understood?
Yes. Now this is it's clear. It's clear.
Okay, great.
Yeah.
Now, so we are done with map, and also there is a, arrow function. You can. This is a named function, right? This is a named function because we have a name for the function. We can also go in this way too. Okay. This is using an arrow function. Let me clear this completely, and let me just. Okay, here what we are doing is um okay, let me make this doubles. Let me make it as
Uh,
Monday.
uh,
Hmm.
Ashish, there are only two kinds of functions. Yes.
No, three: named function,
Three.
anonymous function, and arrow function.
Oh, this is the third. Hmm.
Yeah, this is the third one. Okay. So here
Okay.
what I'm doing is, okay, here what I'm doing here is, I am also doing. I am writing. I mean, I'm storing the complete function logic in a variable. Okay, complete function logic in a variable, and that function is written as an arrow function. Okay, here we are using an arrow function. Now see the difference. If you see the difference, okay, let me write this too. Okay, let me write this. This is little lengthy, right? I mean, we are using maps, and I mean we are creating a function. Sorry, we are creating a function, then we are calling it. So this is little lengthy. Okay, this should not be here. Okay, let me go this here. Little lengthy. I mean, you're going ahead and uh, create. Okay, creating a function. Sorry, did I miss something here? Sorry, I missed something. Okay, let me read this. Huh. So what I'm doing here is I'm creating a function, named function, then I'm calling the map function. So this is little lengthy. So what you can do is you can write all this code in couple of lines. In you can reduce the lines using the arrow function. What you can do, you can first create a variable, because we are getting a new array. We are getting a completely new array. So we are storing it in a new variable. Then we use the array which we need to work on. Then we use the map function. Okay, in the map function, what we did earlier, we passed in the function name, the named function name we have passed in here. But here what we are doing, here we are passing the parameter directly. We are passing the parameter. I mean the parameter which was passed in the creation of named function, that we are passing directly in the arrow function. We are not giving any of this, information in here. And then we give an arrow. Then here we write the logic. Once we write the logic, we are printing it. Okay, that is all we do. So rather than writing, first creating a named function, writing the logic inside it, then use the map function on the array itself, then call in the new variable. So rather than doing all these things, okay, we are using an arrow function so that it reduces our code, lines of code. That is all. I mean nothing else. You can also use it, you can also write it in this way, that is completely fine. But if you want to reduce the lines of code, then you can use this method, where it is an arrow function. And what you're doing, you're directly calling this array, then using the map function. In the map function, the parameter that you're passing is an arrow function. What you have passed in here, you have passed in the name function. Okay, but that function was created separately. But here you are directly creating a function inside the map function as a parameter, and writing the code logic here. You're calling the what they say, the variable, so that it prints out. Now if I want to do something else as well, some other arithmetic calculation as well, or logic as well, I can do it. So this is how. Now this is another way to reduce the lines of code. There is one more way. Okay, now in here, okay, let me this here. See, here what I'm doing. Okay, this is Monday, right? Then I finished up. Here I'm creating a new variable, which we have to, because we need to we are getting a new array. Okay. Then I'm calling the same, in the same way I'm calling it. Okay. And here, rather than rather than writing the return keyword, okay, rather than writing the return keyword and placing our code logic inside the curly braces, I'm removing the curly braces, and I'm directly performing the arithmetic logic here. Now if I say nums plus 3, okay, and call print this, let me see, it printed. I mean it mapped each element in nums array, and it added 3 to it. So 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So, in order to reduce the lines of code in in your in your system, or to save memory, you can use this arrow function in a more modified manner, you can say. But this is also fine, this is also fine, this is also fine. You can write in these three ways any way. If you find which way you find uh, easy or understanding or more quick to write, you can choose that particular way. There's no restriction, there is no restriction that you have to use only this way, or you have to use only this way, or you have to use only this way. You can use any way to write your code. And this comes, this first you might go with this, okay. Then after practice, after understanding JavaScript more and practicing and understanding the arrow functions, then you might come to this stage. Then practicing more, then you'll and understanding the arrow functions, how exactly they work, then you will come to this part. So there is no rush. Take time, write code in this way. I mean, multiple more lines of code, that is completely fine. It's only the memory that will be used, nothing more than that. So after practice, you'll definitely come to this stage. But you have to understand the logic, and the logic is same for when you write these many lines of code, or these many lines of code, or these many lines of code. The logic is same. What it does, it goes ahead and map this logic, this arrow function logic, on all the elements in an array, and it prints as a new array. That is the logic. You write it in this way, or this way, doesn't matter. But the logic is one and the same. It maps each and every element in an array, in a parent array, with the logic that you have written in function. It might be named function, anonymous function, or an arrow function. Okay.
Yes, Ashish, yes.
Okay. Yeah, I know this. Yeah, it takes time. You have to practice.
Mm.
Yeah, but it takes time. Okay. Then we'll come to filter. Okay, we'll come to filter. Uh, okay. What filter does? Let me. It also returns a new array. Okay, as map returns a new array. See, map returns a new array. That is why we are storing it in a new variable. Same way, filter also returns a new array. So that is the reason we have to store it in a new variable. Here also we are storing it in a new variable. Now let's see this. Okay, let me go ahead and copy this. Okay, and remove this part and keep that nums array in place and write it. Okay, so what we are doing, we are, as it returns a new array, we are storing it in a variable, new variable, because we are getting a new array. Okay, now what we are doing here, okay, what kind of function is this? What kind of function is
Arrow
this?
function.
Arrow, arrow,
Correct,
arrow.
correct, arrow function. Okay, and the logic is written in between these curly braces. Okay, the logic is written in, oh, sorry, till here. Yeah, till here. The logic is written. Now what we are writing here is, if num, okay, if num is greater than 5, return num. Okay, so what we are doing here, same way in Visual Studio Code, when you hit the dot, then you will find the filter function as well. So you can select the filter function, and that filter function is taking one parameter, which is an arrow function. And in that arrow function, we are passing the what is it we are naming like, this is, this can be anything. This, you can name anything in here. I can say this is at Monday. Okay, let's Monday, and then say Monday, then return. Let's see if it returns Monday. Okay, let me run this and see. Huh. Yeah. So first, let me go ahead and copy this part. Functions num. Mhm. Okay, copy. Here, here, here also what we can do, let me do one thing here. Let me take this as Tuesday. Yes. And then say Tuesday. This should, but this will confuse. That is the reason. Okay. Then okay, this is fine. Yeah. Okay. See, in the parameter, you can name anything. You can name anything in the parameter. But why I named as nums? Because it will, it will clear the logic. It will clear the logic. But you can also name anything in the parameter. You can name anything in the parameter. When you name, okay, I'll explain here. When I named something and I have given a logic here, okay, and here I'm doing the here I'm doing the what they say, uh, I'm calling the map function. Now tell me how exactly, yes, this is how I can explain map. This, so here we are passing something. I mean, we have written something as a parameter, and also we are returning something with a multiplication of 2, right? But here, how exactly it is trying to print this part? How exactly it is trying to print this part? Because we are mapping with a parent array. We are mapping with a parent array, and this parameter can be anything. Same goes if I write this one. Okay, let me take this one, and also I can write this mm, Friday. Okay, so this can be anything. This can be anything. But what map does is it will check the logic. Okay, I need to do this here as okay. Now, what does the map does is it will map each element in a numbers array, and it will perform the logic. It will perform the logic. But you can name anything as a parameter. You can name anything as a parameter. See, let me run this. See, so but if you want to name the parameter same as a number array, that is also fine. If this doesn't confuse you, then you can use the same as a parameter. Okay, parameter name can be anything, but writing the logic here, I mean, where exactly you want to map that parent array variable name should be correct, and then you need to call the map function. Same here. First parent array should be correct, then you call the map function. Same here as well. Now in filter as well, if you want to do, I can pass in the same nums here, and then say nums here, and then say nums here, but I'm printing this one. Yes. So okay, what exactly the condition, what is the condition of this arrow function? we want to print we want to print
Numbers.
the elements which
5.
is greater than 5, right? Which is greater than 5. That is what we are trying to return, and that is what we want to print in a new array. So that is what printed here. So what does the filter function does is it will filter. It will filter based on the condition. Based on the condition, it will filter your array, and it will print a completely new array. Completely new array. Now, if you I want to add another thing here, and uh, nums nums less than 7. Let's say 7. Okay, let me run this. See, only one element printed. So it works on the condition. It works on the condition, and then filters your array and prints out the new array. So here what we are doing, mapping, what mapping does, it will perform arithmetic operation on all the elements in an array at once, and it will print the new array. Let me print something here. Let me do one. So this is what map function does. But what does the filter function do? What does the filter function do? It will filter as per your condition, as per your condition that you have written in the function. As per that particular condition, it will filter your array, and it prints the new array in the output. You can give any condition, you can give any condition, and that works. And uh, this is how the filter function works, and we will be looking at a lot of examples, real world examples also we will be looking at. uh, and this is a huge topic, and it will take around 2 to 3 sessions to complete. Okay, this is what this
Ash,
is. Yeah.
sorry, sorry. So after I see that you opened lots of, you closed lots of brackets there, like after return nums. So
Where?
because in the nine line number nine,
Uh-huh. Hmm.
like
Hmm.
because one in number eight, it
Hmm.
belongs to the one for return.
Hmm.
Ah, okay, and one before if and one after if. Yes, three. Yeah, yeah.
Yes.
And
Okay.
so yeah, yeah. So you opened a new brackets for the return also.
No, not for the return, I
Yeah,
haven't opened. Okay,
yeah, yeah.
okay.
It's
Yeah, okay, sorry. Yes. The flower bracket. Yes. I wanted to return something, right? If I want to print, if I want to print this nums outside, if I want to print nums outside, then I
mhm.
have to return it. Yes. Yeah,
Yeah, yeah. Okay,
correct.
understand.
Yeah, one for return and one for the complete map function. Sorry, the filter
And
function.
one for the if. Yeah,
Uh,
there
sorry.
are three. You see the big one.
There is
That's what
one, two,
in the number
and
five.
one and two. Five. Yeah. Yes. This 5 1 is closed at number 9.
Yes, number
Okay,
nine. The
okay. You're
one
talking
is
about this
closed
one?
in eight. Hmm?
You're talking about this bracket.
Yes, that is also one is
Ah,
closed in nine, eight, and two are closed in nine. So the total
yes.
are three.
Yes. Correct.
Yeah.
Yes. I was thinking only about bracket. Yes. But if you consider the parentheses, yes. There are
Yeah.
completely three. Yes.
Yeah.
So this
Yes.
is correct. This is how a filter function works. Okay, this is how a filter function works. So if you want to filter your array and produce a completely new array, then that is where the filter function comes into picture. Like you uh, let's say if you want to filter this array, I mean you just want to get the, what they say, you just want to get the number 6 out of this out of this array, then how can you do it? You will write an if condition or a for loop where you will be looping, iterating through each and every element. Okay, iterating to each and every element, then you give the if condition, then you print the for loop. I know you will print the for loop like in this way, like for then I equal to 0, then uh, I less than what is what is what is a command, that what is a code that we need to write here if we want to iterate through an array using a for loop? What is the command that we need to write here? Okay, this nums dot length.
length
This, yeah, this goes ahead and
plus
iterates. Yeah,
I
I plus plus.
plus
Okay,
plus plus plus.
then you go ahead and write the if condition. Okay, same this if condition. um, okay, take this if condition, then you go ahead and inside the logic you write console.log. Okay, let's see, I'm not sure still. Okay, nums square bracket I, right? Let me try this. This should work.
Ash,
Yes.
last time you wrote console.log out of the brackets, and now you write it inside.
No, this is for loop. This is for
Ah,
for
okay,
loop.
okay.
This is a for
Mm-hmm.
loop. This is completely different.
This is
This
the
is for,
step before the filter.
yes.
Mm,
Okay,
oh,
so here I have written in a different, completely different logic So if we want to print uh, and if nums greater than 5 or and nums greater than less than 7, 3 6, why does printing all, not printing 5, it ignored 5 and 7 and it printed everything else. Okay. So yeah, so you write the logic in this way. I mean, we need to make some changes in this if condition. So you write logic in this way. But if you want to write, if you want to not use the for loop and or the for each loop or for in loop or for off loop, then you can go. I mean, mostly it is preferred filter. Filter is the most preferred way where you can go ahead and array, filter your array, and then get the output of it. This is the most preferred way, and this gives you the right output. The most, the expected output will be more preferred. So you can use a filter function um, rather than going for loop or for each loop. Okay. So this is how a filter function works. And can you reduce this function little more? Can we reduce this function little more? Uh, can we do it? Let's see. Okay, nums. Okay, has removed. Let's see. But for if we do need the square brackets, I don't think so because we are using if condition. So we do need this. And if we need return, yep, yeah, we cannot. So this is how you write the filter function. I mean, the filter function is mostly used, it's properly, it's used, it is correctly used for filtering an integer array. If you want to filter an integer array, then you can use the filter function. We'll come up with more examples on this where we will understand more about filter function. We have a real world examples where we will understand more about filter function, how exactly it works. Okay, so we are done with this two, map and filter. Then the last function is reduce. Okay, reduce. Let's see reduce function. Okay, we are done filter. Yeah, there's one more way where you can write it. We can write it in this way. What it did is, but if we want, let's see if I want this one as well, num1 less than 7. Let's see if this works or not. Yeah, it worked. So we can write it skipping the if condition. Skipping the if condition, directly we are writing in return. We are writing it in return, um, the condition, and then we are getting the output. So we can do it in this way as well. And if we want this is how we get it. So one,
Answers.
yeah, yes, Menti.
You can change line number 5,
5, uh-huh.
condition now 1 column. No, no, no.
Num1, sorry, num1,
No, no. नहीं होगा सर.
sorry, I didn't get it.
जैसे आई थिंक क्वेश्चन मार्क लगा के जैसे फिल्टर करते हैं, इससे हो पाएगा क्या? मैं वही पूछ रहा था. नहीं होगा शायद.
No, question mark is different.
कॉलन और क्वेश्चन मार्क लगा के जैसे कंडीशन
Okay,
लिखते हैं.
ternary operator. You're
हाँ
talking
हाँ
about
हाँ टर्नर
ternary
टर्नर यस यस यस.
operator. No. Ternary operator is completely different. That we work on two values, two variable values. If we have two variable values, that is where the ternary operator comes into picture. Or if we have a value, if we have one value also, then we can use, like, for discount we have used, and if the age is greater than or less than that, for that we have used. But this is an array, right? So we cannot use the ternary operator here. I mean, we cannot
यस
use
यस.
it inside this. Okay, so this is another way in writing the filter method, where we have reduced the lines of code. Rather than writing in this way, uh, we have written in this way. Both used arrow function. both use the arrow function, but here we have used if condition, but here we haven't used the if condition. We have written directly under the return. Under the return we have written the logic. Under the return keyword we have written the logic that we want. And you can also add like in this way, num1 um, less than 7. So this is how you can do it. So this is all about filter method. Now let's come to reduce method. Okay, the last method. Reduce method also returns a new array, but there is little difference here. Let me go ahead and copy this. You understood, everyone understood the logic, right? What exactly the filter function does?
Yes.
Okay,
Yes.
Yes, yes. It
okay,
gives
now,
only what is the condition, yeah.
yeah, we
But
will
this for
hmm,
yeah, only the for loop I didn't understand. Like
per
the if
loop. Hmm,
yeah, if it's I got it, we have to put we it's prints only that's condition like that's. But for loop I didn't understand.
okay, per loop. How do you iterate an array using a for loop in this way, right? I equal to 0. Okay, then I less than nums
Nums.
dot length. Okay, why nums dot length? Because we want to know the, sorry, nums, yeah, less than we are using, right? So nums dot length, because length minus 1, length minus 1 gives us the index of an array, and I'm
Yes.
using less than symbol here, not less than equal to. So when I'm using less than, then I can go with nums dot length. That is completely fine. Then I say I plus plus. Okay,
Yes.
because
Yes.
I want to iterate. I want to iterate the array. So then inside it, I can write console dot log in here nums, which is a variable name. Then here I'm not giving an index. Index is stored in this I, right? So I'm giving I here. Every index, if we say 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 index, all these indexes are stored in this I. How? Because we are looping it using a length condition. Okay, now when I print this, okay, when I'm printing this, see, it is printing the array. It is printing all the elements in an array. Now here I just want to print numbers which are greater than 5, so that is where we use, if I want to add a condition to a for loop. How can you add a condition to a for loop? Using if condition,
If
using if, or if else, or yeah, while or do while, but we don't usually use while or do while. We go with if condition. So if, here I say nums and greater than 5. Okay, nums greater than 5. Then I place everything inside the curly braces. If so, here the condition is if nums is greater than 5, then only print those elements in a output. Let's see, let's run this. Oh, why didn't it print uh, it, console.log nums, if nums, this is correct. Okay. Mm, this is correct. Or we, no, not I. Where did I go wrong in here? Did I go wrong in here? This works. Okay, this is working. Hmm.
Nums dot length greater than 5.
Sorry.
Nums dot length,
Yeah,
I
that is
think.
fine. The condition is fine. I mean, this condition is fine. And nums.
If nums dot length inside
No, 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 not nums dot length. Here there is something just running. If, if I should return something.
console dot log nums डाल के देखेंगे तो क्या आएगा.
console.log nums.
nums del के देखेंगे तो क्या आएगा उसके बाद
नहीं,
पता चल जाएगा सर
we have to iterate this, right? So in trying to iterate it, we need this index. If we want to iterate through an array, we need it. We need this index. So that's not the case. See written, written nums. No, this also didn't work because we cannot use returns in the if loop, if condition. Only you can use it in the function. Hmm. Mm, 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 mm. Sorry, I forgot the syntax. Let me check with the syntax, like where exactly I'm going wrong. Let me check with the syntax and let me come back with the answer. But this is how if you want to uh, print numbers, if you want to print numbers greater than five from an array, and you want to use a for loop, this is how you write it. I mean, there's something which I'm missing in this, which is not making it work. um,
Maybe the I that you've put between the two
if I use I
square
here,
brackets
I
in.
think I here, then it should work. Okay, okay, thank God. Okay, okay. So yeah, the
Yeah.
only thing I was missing was the index. I haven't
Yes.
provided the index here. So now when I provided the index, now it checks, then it prints. So rather than using the for loop, I went with the filter function. So in this way you can do, or you can do it in filter function, whichever you feel comfortable, you feel easy to write the code, then you can go with that. But still, when using the filter function, it helps you in many other ways. I mean, there are a lot more advantages when you use filter function or map function or reduce function, apart from for when especially you're working on arrays, especially when we are working on arrays. This is how, these are the three methods which we use most. So yeah, so for loop. Now Nadia, did you understand?
Yes, yes, now I understood you.
Okay.
So we either use this way or the filter.
Yes,
Mm.
yes,
Yeah,
whichever
and this.
you feel comfortable. Okay.
Yeah,
But with
thank you then.
practice, you'll get to know that filter functions and map functions and reduce functions are more beneficial,
Easier
yeah,
maybe.
more beneficial, easier, I can say, yeah, but more
Short.
beneficial. It will be more beneficial. Okay. Yeah.
Okay.
Okay. Now,
And short
just give me a
code
minute.
maybe.
Just give me a minute. Huh? Huh? Huh?
hello hello
Okay. Yeah.
Assis,
Yes.
if I change I greater than noms dot len, I think
Sorry,
it
sorry.
change
If I change nums.
nums greater than length, noms dot length. I greater than noms dot length. No, 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 no. Line number
Okay, okay,
5.
okay. I
Then
greater than.
greater than noms dot length. I
Hmm.
think -1 पे ऐड
Hmm.
होगा.
Not greater. less than or equal
ग्रेटर
to.
देन नॉन स्टार्ट लेट लिखने के बाद लेंथ -1 ऐड होगा सर। रन
It is
करके देखो।
less than
हाँ
or equal to. When you use less than or equal to, then it adds -1, not greater
ओके।
than. When you run this, see, it's
ग्रेटर
not.
देन लिखा है तो
Yeah, when we use greater than, then that is not. I mean, it will throw an error. See, it will not run. Actually, it didn't throw an error. Good, but it will not work because I cannot be greater than length. I mean, I cannot be greater than length, or I
ओके
value cannot be greater than length or greater than index value. I is always less than length value or less than or equal to index value.
ओके ओके
Yeah,
ओके
greater
सॉरी।
than means I mean you're saying okay. What is the length of this an array? What is the length of this array?
8
Length
9
nine.
It's nine.
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 Length is
9
nine.
लेंथ इज
Index
9
is eight. Yeah.
Index
इंडेक्स
is
इज
8.
8 यस।
Yeah. When you're saying I greater than nums dot length, which means you are saying I is 10. I is 10. But that is not the case.
ओके
That is not the case. I is always less than. I is always less than length or index. Okay.
ओके
Index you can say equal to, but it is always less than. Okay.
ओके
Same goes if you want to if you want to say, okay, I'll give one more example here. Let's say let str equal to.
In a reverse string also we are
Yes,
using the same thing.
yes, I was writing the same logic here. So if you want to reverse this here as well, but what you will do here is when you're trying to reverse this string, you don't write it here. You don't write it this, you write here. You say I starts with a length. I starts with length minus 1, sorry, length minus 1, because this is string. Strings also uses indexes. Strings also uses indexes. So this is where I equal to nums dot length. Sorry, here we need to use str. Yeah, str dot length minus 1. Why? Because 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 5 index. The index of string is 5, but the length is 6. But we want to start from 5 because we want to print h, then s, then I. If, let's say, if I don't see give minus 1, okay, and then here what happens, then let me change this to minus minus because we will be reducing it. And let me remove this function if condition, and then type in str here, str str of I, str of I. Yeah, I think str of I. Yeah, true. Str of I. Yeah. Then where I miss, yeah, the condition. The condition here we say um, greater than, yeah, greater than or equal to 0. I think greater than or equal to 0. Yes. Now let me run this. Let me see if it prints. Okay. Here string is not a function. Yeah, there is no function. We print this. Okay. String dot length. Where did I think dot char fact? Got it? So now, okay, let me do one thing. Let me show you one thing here. Let's give some spaces, then plus I. Okay. Now see here what happens. See, this one is blank. Why this is blank? Why we are getting this is as blank? Because here we are using I is equal to length. I is equal to length, but I is not equal to length. I should not never be equal to length. It should be always length minus 1. Why? Because we are starting at the fifth index, not fifth number of length, fifth, not sixth number of the length. We are starting at the fifth index. That is the reason we should always say -1. Now, when you print it, now it prints correctly. Got it? Understood?
Yes, yes, Ashish. Yeah.
And why we say greater than or equal to 0? Why we say it greater than or equal to 0? Because we are starting from fifth index.
We are starting from, yeah,
Yes,
15
we are
minutes.
starting from top to bottom. Yeah, from the highest number to the lowest number. But when we are printing in a what they say, in a right manner, I mean, I want to print this in a right in the same way as Ashish, then you don't write it in here. You write it in this way. Let me give this console.log and then give some spaces. Then write the same logic here for, then say I equal to, here I start with 0, but the condition is less than str.len, then I plus plus, because I'm increasing the index. Then here I use the same. Now when I print, see, now it is printing in this way. So if you want to print in a reverse manner, you use string.length -1 and you assign that value to I. Okay, but when you want to print in a right manner, then you start from 0 and you assign it to I, but your your loop should stop where the where I value is less than length, less than, not equal to length. And when you say equal to also, it will not work. Actually, it will throw an error, to be honest. See, oh, it went into a infinite loop. Okay, so rather than that, not going into infinite loop, you just say less than. Once you practice it, you will definitely get all these things. There's no, I mean, I'm pretty confident about it. The only thing I request is you need to practice. The more you practice, the more you get queries and the more you get understanding the logic as well. Okay, so it's clear till
Even
here. Yeah.
yes, yes. Even
Yeah.
Ashish, in
Mm,
sometimes it happens in interview as well. Like there is a Ashish is string, right? So
mm,
there is a H is two times. So they ask for it is what is the letter is repeating how many times it will
mm,
count
mm,
it. So this
mm.
kind of question is also asking in
Yes,
question.
yes. This is where you will be using for loop and or you I actually there you will be not using for loop, there you will be using while loop. You will be using while loop. Most of the times you will be using while loop. So yeah, I mean, yes, there are a lot of programming questions which are asked in interviews, and yeah, practice and use ChatGPT and see what all. And I'll also provide the. Actually, I have provided documents. I have provided documents where you will be asked programming questions on multiple ways on each and every topic. I'll provide more. I'll provide more where you can practice them and see how exactly the logic works. Okay.
Okay, Ashish, thank you.
Yeah, but
That will
yes,
help.
but still, go to the documents and practice it. Until you
Yes.
practice, then it doesn't help.
Yeah.
Okay, now let's come to the last one, which is what is left over? Which function is left over?
Reduce.
Yes, correct.
Reduce.
Reduce. Let's come to reduce. Okay, and we have training as well. We'll do it tomorrow. Okay, I think it goes to 3 to 4 sessions. No worries. So, okay, reduce. Here, it returns a new array. It definitely returns a new array. But, what happens here is it will print not in an array format. Let me print this and let me show it to you. Is this an array? Is this an array?
No.
No. Why?
No.
Why exactly it is not an array? Why exactly it is not an array?
It is number
It's a number. It's a number. But why exactly it is not an array?
Because it's not closed with that bracket.
Correct. Correct. It is not closed with a brackets. That is the reason it
square
is
bracket.
just a number.
Means.
Yeah. When it prints with in this way, then it is called an array. But here it is not printing in an array. It is printing as a, as a data type, like a string we can say, or a, yeah, this is a number. Like as we have data types, it is a number data type. But it says reduce returns a new array, which which is not. I don't think so. Which is mostly correct. But yes, we will be working on array, and then it will provide a different new, completely new value from the logic that we have used in a reduce to provide a different output. So it works on array, but I don't think so. It will return a new array. I have seen multiple examples. I never seen that returns. It returns in a format of an array. Okay. Now let me make understand what exactly the reduce method does. Okay. Now what did map method do? What did map method do on this numbers array?
Arithmetic operations inside
Yes,
the array.
yes, and it printed each and every element, right?
It's return, yeah, a new array.
Yeah, and it printed each and every element with a new array, right? It when I
Mm-hmm.
said multiply by 3, then it multiplied each and every element in an array and it gave us an output. And what did
Yes.
filter method do? Filter method went
It's
ahead and filtered on
based
according
on
to
the
the
condition.
condition, based on the condition, sorry, based on the condition.
Mm-hmm.
And it printed a new array. It might be one element, two elements, or three elements. It depends upon the condition that we give,
Condition.
right? But
Mm-hmm.
reduce method, it performs the action, it performs the logic on all the elements in an array, and it provides one output, only one uh, one data type as an output. How exactly it is, see, now here it is, we want, definitely we are retaining a new value, performing action, we are retaining a new value. So that is why we store it in a different variable. It is common for all three methods. Okay, store it in a different variable. Whenever you are using a reduce, filter, or map method, store the new value in a new variable, completely new variable. Okay, you have stored it. Then you used nums dot reduce, which is same for map and filter, where you used a parent dot with reduce method or a filter method or a map method. Then this this method takes two parameters, not one parameter. Map method takes one parameter, filter takes one parameter, but reduce method takes two parameters, one being accumulator, and then the second being current value. Okay, so we can name anything here. Okay, just for information, just for knowledge, or just for understanding, I'm saying accumulator. I'm using you know the default parameter names, default parameter. So one being accumulator and one being current value. Now what I'm doing here is, the logic is, I'm using the arrow function, same arrow function. Then the logic is accumulator, okay, equals to accumulator plus current value, accumulator plus current value. Now, uh, tell me, in how different way can I write this? This line of code, if I want to reduce it, how can I reduce it?
Accumulator plus equal to current value.
Plus one
Plus one. No,
Accumulator
someone, yeah,
accumulates.
someone did say the answer.
plus
Plus,
equal to current value.
correct, current value. Is the variable name correct? Yeah. Okay. So we can also write it in this way. Now, we have written this logic and we want to return the accumulator. We want to return the accumulator, which means, I'll explain this. Then once we write this arrow function, then where exactly the accumulator should start with? Where exactly it should start with? It should start with 0. because we want to add each and every number. We want to add each and every number and store it in a accumulator. Store it in a accumulator. So if accumulator already has a number, then the value which we are expecting, the value which we are expecting as an output will be not correct, because 9 plus 8 plus 7 plus 6 plus 5 plus 4 plus 3 plus 2 plus 1 is 45. If we give 1 here, if we give 1 here, then it will be 46, right? Which is not an correct output, which is not an expected output or a correct output. Always when you're adding, always when you're, not only here, when you're using for loop as well, and when you're counting something, when you want to count how many words or how many letters are in an in a in a string, that is where you also use count. But how exactly the count, where exactly the count starts? It count starts from 0. Okay, then let's say, uh, okay, let's say this is a string. Okay, now I want to count how many h are present in Ashish. Okay, so I say count plus plus. Okay, now here it starts with 0. Okay, first it checks a. Okay, a is not equal to h, so it says 0. Then s, it's not equal to h, so it will say 0. Then h, okay, this is where it adds 1. It adds plus 1, because we are saying count plus plus, so it adds plus 1. Then then we have 1. Then it will check I. Okay, then it says plus 0. Okay, sorry, plus 0. Then again then again still it will be remaining 1. Then it will check s. S is not equal to h, so then again it will say 0. Then again it will check, okay, we have h here, so 1 plus, so it will say there are 2 H in Ashish. This is how it works actually. The count logic works for the letters in a string. Yeah, not words, but letters. Yes, it works in the same way. So same way here as well. Accumulator, what it does, it stores the addition logic. It stores the addition logic. So first we are giving the current value to be 0. Okay, we don't want to give any other number. We have to give 0 because we want to perform addition and we want to get the correct output when we are adding all these values in an array. Okay, so that is the reason we start with 0. Then, okay, now what is the current value here? I mean, what is the accumulator value when we start with 0? What will be the accumulator value when we start with 0? What will be the accumulator value?
0.
Correct. 0, right? Okay. So first it will be 0 equals to 0 plus current value is also 0. Okay. Then next here, next it will go and it will check 1. Okay. So we have 1. So it will say 0 plus 1.
Plus what
So
it
the
will be.
accumulator value will be 1. So on it will go on, and it will, at the last, it will say 45 when you add, uh, okay, 45 minus 8. Sorry, 45 minus 9. No, 45 minus 8. 63. No, sorry. 35, 35, 36, 36, 37, 37. Yeah. 37 plus
7.
9.
Yes.
Yeah, 37
Yes.
plus 9. So this is where it gives us a, so this is also works as a loop. It also works as a loop, same as a loop, but this is how the logic works. Okay, this is how the logic works. I mean, accumulator, first the value of accumulator is 0. Then it will go ahead and take each element and add each element to the I mean, current value will be 1. Then the current value will be 2. uh, then the current value will be 3. Okay, so this is how it, current value later. Yes, current value will be 3. Then it will add to the accumulator and it will store in the accumulator. So here 0 is accumulator and the current value, let's say with 1. Okay, then we have 1 here. Okay, then again the accumulator is 1, then the current value is 2, so it will just store 3. Okay, it will store it as 3. In this way it will go ahead and then after 3, then what else on the first, it happens on the right hand side. Okay, so right hand side equal to 3 plus what is the next number? uh, 1 2 is done, right? 3, yeah, 3 plus 3, then it will store 6 here. Okay, so in this way, at the last, 37 plus 9, which will store as 45. So that is what we are printing in the output. So it will take all the elements in an array and perform a arithmetic logic, and it will provide one output, one single data type output. Okay, now tell me one thing. If I use multiplication here, what will be the output? If I use multiplied equal to current value and I want to return an accumulator, what will be the output? Okay, let me do one thing. Accumulator multiplied current value. Okay, now tell me what will be the output?
It's in zero.
Sorry.
In zero.
Yes. Why 0? Why 0?
Accumulator because accumulator value is zero.
Yes, any number multiplied by 0 will always be 0, right?
Yes.
So that is what I mean. You multiply 0 with 1, then it will be 0. Then again the accumulator value is still 0.
So that
Then
accumulator value is still zero. So
yes. So this is how the reduce method works. Okay, only in reduce method you use two parameters, not one parameter, two parameters, dif- uh, separated by comma, and those two parameters you use as a logic. Then you can return the accumulator, and you can use anything here. You need not to use this default names. You can also use these names. That is also fine. I've used these names so that it will be easy to understand, but you can also use these names. Monday, then I don't know. Mm,
equal
just finding it actually. Mm, then Tuesday, then again return accumulator, then I'll use plus only here. So total sum, this is fine. Yeah. See, you can use any names as we have used in map and filter. Any names we can use in the parameter. Okay. So what does map will map with each and every element, and it will print each and every element as a new array. What does filter do? It will filter based on the condition, and it will print a new array. But what does reduce does? As name says, reduce means reduce whatever you have, reduce it. So what does reduce do? It will take an array, it will perform the mathematical operation, and then it will provide you a single number, I mean a single data type. Okay, and make sure the syntax, okay, the syntax, especially the syntax, is very important here. We use one parameter and the second parameter separated by comma, right? Separated by comma. Same way here for Monday, let's say for Monday, we have written the logic. Okay, we have written the logic which ends here, right? Now, comma separated by comma for Tuesday. I mean, for Tuesday, we have given this 0. We have given this 0. So we can think in that way. I mean, we can whenever we are using a reduce function or method, and when we are providing two parameters, please make sure that you give this number, you give this value. If you don't provide this value, see what happens. Let's see. Oh, still it worked.
still 45.
still it worked. It should not, but still it worked. I don't know how it worked, but it should not. Mm, 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 mm. Okay, how did it work? Okay, I'm not sure how it did work, but yes, it should not work. But yeah, if it worked, well and good. But still, uh, well, times you might come into trouble, or there might be an error or unexpected output when you don't provide the syntax correctly. And IDs help you. IDs will help you. Like you have to provide this value here. So, yep. Please make sure that you provide a comma, then you provide
Why
the syntax.
zero? वहाँ पे
Sorry,
क्यों जीरो लेता है? वहाँ पे क्यों जीरो लेता है?
sorry, I didn't understand.
Why we are written zero? Line number
Why
11.
why we written 0?
Yes,
Because we want to add each and every number with 0. In that way, it will not give an unexpected output. I mean, incorrect output. It will not provide. It will provide us a right output.
The first index is 0.
No, not
Not,
with the
no?
index. I am not
uh,
talking about the index here. Okay,
written 4.5, then around
sorry.
written
Uh,
4.5,
written.
written 4.5, उसके बाद राउंड करो, then क्या आता है देखो?
Written
Line number
4.5.
in line number 11.
Line
Yeah,
number 11,
Change.
Mm.
change
Yes,
the value of
change it.
0 and write 4.5.
4.5.
Yes, yes. It can be wrong. Yeah, error.
Ah, it doesn't provide you for any error, but it provides you an incorrect output, because when you're adding all these numbers, the output should be 45, but we are getting 49.5. Okay, let me take
5
one more.
plus 4.5 said.
Yes, 45 plus 4.5, which is 49.5. Now, when we are using multiplication, we cannot use 0, right? We cannot use 0 because it will give us an incorrect output. What will be the output? It will be 0, right?
It will be 0.
So what can
1.
we, okay, what can we write in
It
here
will
so
change
that,
as 1.
yes, when we change it to 1, then we get the right output. So as per the arithmetic operation, change the values here. Change the values here. Okay.
I think Monday जो accumulator values, this is the accumulator value, sir.
Yes, this is accumulator value. This is accumulator. Okay. Um,
Starting accumulator starting जिस होता है,
hmm?
I think this value is written
Yes,
that line number 11.
correct. True. Yeah, accumulator starts with 1. Accumulator starts with 1. I just gave an example like why exactly. I mean, if you only to remember the syntax, I gave an example like when you're using comma and writing the second parameter. So please use the comma here and then write the value that you want to start with. That you want to start with. So just for an syntax example, syntax. I mean, in order to remember the syntax and in order to remember that we need to provide this value, I just gave an example. But accumulator value is 1. Accumulator value is 1, and when it comes to addition, the accumulator value is 0. Okay,
Yes,
understood all these three methods and the difference,
yes,
what exactly it does, what all these three functions or methods does.
yes.
Great.
Yes,
Okay,
yes,
tomorrow
Ashish.
we will be working more on these examples. I mean, tomorrow we will be working on chaining and how can we, how can we work on all these three methods at once on an array. We will be seeing that, and also we will be working on real world example. Okay, one real world example. Okay, so that is all for
Okay,
today.
Ashish.
So any questions,
Thank
any queries, any doubts?
No, no, thank you. After practice, we will ask questions.
So,
They
okay.
come always after. Yeah.
Yes, practice is very important. Okay, then please do practice, and we will definitely meet tomorrow. Okay. Yeah, we'll definitely meet tomorrow,
Okay.
and we have to cover this JavaScript as soon as possible. Okay. And sorry, and one request from my end. Uh, if uh, how can I say, if you're not if you have not started giving interviews, okay, it you might have zero experience or n number of years of experience, or and in an average years of experience. Still, I want you to I request you all to start giving interviews. It's okay to give interviews, and it's okay to get rejected in the interviews. Why exactly you need to give interviews is, first, you will be not having interview fear. Second, you will get to know like what scenario based questions and what programming based questions are asked in interviews. And what and also the third thing is, what is a most preferred area that is running uh, in your area or country. Okay, like in Hyderabad, it's more of Selenium with C sharp. I get a lot of interview calls related to Selenium with C sharp or Playwright with TypeScript. But in your areas or in your country, it might be completely different. But you have to start giving interviews. Then you will, watching YouTube videos, watching my video, or watching any video will help 30 to 40%. But when you experience it yourself, and when you perform yourself in interviews, then you will get more experience. Okay, this is how the questions are asked, and this is how I need to practice, and this is where I need to improve, and this is what I need to learn. Okay, this all things comes practically. I mean, yeah, only practically these things come. You can learn. I mean, that is all I can say. Start giving interviews, see how, or give 1 2 interviews, that is also fine. See what exactly they ask, what exactly they expect from you. Try once, it's completely fine. And there are
Okay,
n number of companies. If one company rejects, that doesn't it doesn't make any wrong. You can apply to n number of companies later, once you are good with everything. Okay, but only the experience, and only to know like how exactly, and what exactly they will be asking, that you will be getting to know. And which also improves your confidence, also improves the eagerness to learn and to practice. That will also get improved when you give interviews. So many advantages, many advantages.
Actually, as is, I did not any calls. Daily update to Naukri,
uh
but
okay. um you No worries. Let's see. I'll let you know. Okay, I'll let you know. You have applied on Selenium with Java.
yes,
Selenium with Java, right? Okay,
yes.
sure.
But
And hmm, hmm.
my experience has been in developer.
Sorry, you were a developer.
Yes,
Oh, okay. Okay. So when they ask you,
1.5 years developers, but now in gap 1.5 years.
okay, okay, that
Same
does
After
not.
that,
same situation with me, Afif, because I did not get any call.
Okay, okay.
yes,
Uh, Shraddha, I know you live in Orissa, right?
yes, yes.
Okay. Did you check like what is sorry, what technology they are looking in Orissa? I mean, is it Selenium with C sharp or Java? Please check that. And Pankti, for you, I'm not sure. I mean, what is most preferred in US? Uh, I don't know. I
No,
really don't
I'm
know.
not in US. I'm in Canada.
Oh, sorry, Canada. Then, yeah, I too don't know about Canada too. I'm not sure what exactly is preferred in Canada. But uh, when okay, let you can do one thing. You can do one thing. Add
Hmm.
add Selenium with C sharp or JavaScript or Java. Anything is fine.
Hmm.
Add those and upload it on Naukri or Indeed, whatever job portal site you have. Then
Yes, I
if
have done. I have done. Even I have applied with the LinkedIn as well.
okay, you haven't got one call.
No, no, because it's showing in my resume there is a gap, right? So might
No,
be I.
gap. No, gap doesn't. I mean, gap doesn't. Doesn't affect at all. To be honest, I have a gap around 2008 to 15, 5, 6, 7 years
But
of gap.
now
Hmm.
I thought there is market is not good as of now. So might be it is impacted because
Yeah, that
there
is.
is so many layoff as well. So they get many more candidates uh,
Uh,
which have experience and they are still working. So yes,
okay, and you provided as immediate joiner.
yes.
Okay, yeah, uh, yeah, that's okay. Let me see what tips I can give for both for Shraddha and Pankti, because
Yeah,
yeah,
Ashish,
and
is it
one.
fine that if I will share my resume with
Yeah,
you?
yeah, that is completely fine. And one more thing, yeah, that is completely fine. One more thing, when if when any point of time, if you get a call,
Mhm.
okay, and they ask, do you have an experience of around? We are looking for experience people who have 3 to 4 years. Say yes, that is completely fine. Say
Yeah, yeah.
yes.
Even
Yeah,
I'm applying for beginner level as well.
yeah. Say yes, because what it does is it will give you an opportunity to attend interview. It will
Yes,
give you an
yes,
opportunity because no one knows that you have worked for 3 years or 1 year or haven't worked at any point of time. That is completely fine. If you have the
yes.
knowledge, if you know what
No,
is
actually,
Java,
I have 1.5 years experience.
and then, but that
More
is in
than,
development, right?
yes.
Yeah, then later you can say testing. Then you know what is Java, you know what is C sharp, you know what is Selenium, right? That's more than enough to attend an interview. That's more than enough. You know what all loops you have in Java, what all conditional statements have in Java, what all the data types you have in Java, uh, and what else? Yeah, we have loops, we have strings in Java. So this is
But
more
in
than enough.
Odisha, people told that
Uh,
selenium not available in Odisha.
Okay. What is available in
Before.
Orissa?
What is available?
Oh, I think
Is it?
manual testing.
No, manual
No, no,
testing is
no.
long gone.
Nowadays, manual testing is not exist
Long
anywhere.
gone. I mean, very less. In 100, you will find only 1, 2 jobs for a manual
One,
test.
yes,
Yeah,
yes.
not more than that. Uh,
Mostly here, like a Selenium and Playwright, they are
yeah,
preferring.
yes. Selenium and Playwright. Yes. Playwright is
Yes,
getting real hype. I mean, very hype.
yes, yes. It is a
Very.
very hype. That's why I'm saying you please
Yeah.
start your session for Playwright as well.
Yeah, sure. Because, yeah, definitely. Once this is completed, Playwright, I have a plan. Definitely, I have a plan. Uh, let's see how it goes. And we have JavaScript used over there, and a little of TypeScript used over there, so that will not be a problem. I mean, programming side will not be a problem at all. Only when we jump into Playwright, that is where we need to use couple of some couple of different lines or methods or syntaxes, which is different. Apart from that, it's all the same programming language which will be using JavaScript or TypeScript.
But this how to get calls for interview.
Mm, okay, Sir, you also send me your resume. Let me check once. Huh? Let me check. Okay. And please do apply the same on Naukri and LinkedIn as well. Naukri is because I'm getting more calls from Naukri only. So yeah,
Yeah,
send me
yeah.
the
In
resume.
India, Naukri is
Yes,
working, but out of the country, I can say that LinkedIn and Indeed is working. So
Indeed, right? Indeed and LinkedIn.
yes.
Yes. Okay. Yeah. So yeah, all the very best. Let me see how can I help in the resumes. And yeah, attend the interviews. It will be fun actually. To be honest, it will be fun. when you attend the interviews, and you
Yes,
will
but
get
when
it.
we are so much confident after that, it will be very fun because I have experienced those experiments. So that's why I'm
Yes,
telling you.
yes, yes. So yeah, so that is all for today, and all the very best. And please keep learning, uh, and keep practicing. Okay.
Okay, Ashish, thank you. Thank you
Thank you.
so
Sure,
much.
Thank you.
sure.
Yeah. Thank you.
Thank
Thank
you
you,
Okay,
everyone.
for your
thank you,
Bye.
sis.
help and your time.
Welcome. Welcome.
Thank you. Thank you so much.